A very good morning, students. Welcome to online classes by Angry Institute of Technology and Management. This is the very first session on computer-aided building planning and drawing. So, in the last session, we have studied about what is the basic introduction of the laboratory and what is the syllabus, and we have started with the introduction to AutoCAD. So, in the last class, I have explained that any uh, drawing or the a computer aided drawing in AutoCAD includes at least four types of tools. So today I'm going to introduce you with the AutoCAD software, the various tools which are used in this AutoCAD software. So this is when I open into the CAD spreadsheet. So this is how it looks like. You can see the cursor what I'm moving here. The black color sheet what you're seeing here is called as your drawing area, and the ones here what you can follow my cursor. You can see file, edit, view, insert, format tool, draw, dimension, modify, express, window, and help. So this is called as a main menu bar. So this is almost similar to how you use it in Microsoft Word or a PowerPoint or any other Microsoft uh, basic apps. Then once you click on any of the contents on the menu bar, say I'll click on this edit, I'll get a drop down options. This is called as a child menu bar. Yeah. This is the main menu bar, and once you click on any of the option on the main menu bar, you'll get a child menu bar. So after this, we have on the left side here, these are the drawing tools which you are going to use. So these are called as this is called as a toolbar. I can move it if you want. Say I want to adjust it in the horizontal direction. Say I want again it back into a vertical direction. I can move it. A draw menu. I'll keep it like this. So this is a toolbar because I can use these tools for my drawing. Then this area here, the area where you can see command. So this area is the command area. Here you can write anything what you want to draw. Say I want a rectangle. So I'll write a rectangle, then I'll say enter. Then my cursor will have a order that it has to draw a rectangle. Okay. So command area is a one where you can give a command to your software which type of a tool you want to use or what type of a work you want to execute. And the one which you see here on the upper line and the lower line, the upper line will give you the option what to do. Once you give any command, say I want to draw a circle. Okay, this was my previous command. Once I entered it, it goes to my previous command. So to execute this command, what all are required, the software will ask you the details. Whether I want to draw a circle by using 3-point, 2-point, or a TTR method. These are the methods of drawing circle. I'll tell you what all these things are. So here after that I can choose that whichever type of a procedure I want, and I'll say enter. So the current command which I gave was I want to draw a 2-point circle. So it goes to the next, I mean the upper command. Then it asks me specify the end point of the diameter of a circle. Say I'll specify some diameter and I can draw that circle. So this is how command area work. You can work out your entire diagram or drawing using only the command area, or else you can directly use a mouse and draw the diagram. That is also well and good, but command area will give you a more options. Okay. So this is a main menu bar, this is a toolbar, this is a command area, and this black color thing is a drawing area. Then this Y and X, this is your axis of your drawing. X horizontal in X direction and vertical in Y direction. And the plus mark is your cursor, which you can move it with the help of a mouse. So I'll start with one by one. Before I won't go for all the tools and all the details in the entire details and entire tools in the software. You will get to learn all these once you go on start practicing. Okay, the first one is file. This is as similar as how we have it in the Microsoft Word or a PowerPoint. Here we have a new file option where I can create a new file. Not only new file, but I can also create a new sheet. In one file only, I can create a multiple sheets. Similarly, I can open a file which is already existing in my system. Then I can create or I can open a new sheet in that particular file. Then load, markup set, close, partial load, these are all not much used. Then you use a save option. Once you finish your drawing, or once if you are going to continue the drawing after some time, then you just save your drawing by saying control S if a name is given already. If name is not given, just save as. Go to choose a destination file where you want to save the file. Choose a folder, then save it by giving some name to the file. Then e-transmit is for exchanging your drawings. Then these are export is also for exchanging your drawings, that is from one system to another system, or from one software application to another software application. Say you want to draw, you want to access the file which is not there in the AutoCAD, but it is there in some other drawing software, and you can export it or import it. So these out of all these drawing uh, options, you are going to use on, at the most you choose new, then open, save, page setup, page manager, these are plot style manager, these are quite similar. Okay, I'll go to the next one, that is edit option. In edit, you have one is undo, that is whatever you have done, if you want to uh, uh, you want to remove that, then you do the undo, which is same as in Microsoft Word. You use a shortcut key control Z. Then cut, copy, copy with a base point, copy with a link, paste, these options are similar. Clear is for clearing all. Then select all, these are all options are there, and if you want to find anything, then you can search it. Then view is one of the important type, because here you will get to see very different types of views of your drawing particularly, and these are helpful actually. And I want to go for all the points, but I'll say only zoom and pan, these are we what we use widely. Zoom is something where you want to either zoom in or zoom out, or zoom into the scale, or zoom into a center or any particular object. So these are all option in the zoom. Then pan is something which will allow you to move your sheet by, just like how we manually move a sheet with a hand. In the same way, pan is something which will allow you to move your sheet. Then insert option, here you have drawing references, some reference files are already which are saved in the software, those can be inserted. DW, underlay, these all you won't use at the most. What you use is layout. A new layout or a layout template or a create a layout wizard is something which you use, because many of what happens is, once any draftsman or a civil engineer, they give a plan, they create a layout template, and in that layout template they create their own drawing with their name, designation, their office name of their consultancy, and a typical format will be created, and in that they will give a drawings. Then other options you may not use regularly. Then format, in this you are going to use layers. Layers is one of the important type. These are what type of formats are used for your drawing tools. One is layers in the sense, what you do is you create your drawing in layers, just like how we create a say I in manually I'll draw some of the parts of a drawing on one sheet, and then I'll keep another transparent sheet, and then I'll draw some other parts of the drawing so that I can overlap it and I can adjust it or rearrange it, or somehow whatever adjustment I can do that. So this is one of the most important option which will allow you to say for example, whenever we do the column positioning and all, I do it for first floor, then I go for the second floor, and I want something similar to the first floor, but I want to adjust it with according to the plan of a second floor. So this layer option will help me in that. Then layer tools, then color, which color I want, line type in the sense of single line, double line, multi-line, dotted line, dash line, like that. Line weightage means whether it is a thick line, thin line, how much thickness should be given and all. Then text style, just like how we use Times New Roman, Bookman Old Style and all type of a text. Then dimension style is something which whenever I draw a drawing, I can mark the dimensions, and I can give a arrow and write it what that particular thing is. So for that we use a dimension style. Then table style, if you want to insert any table, most of the times what happens is we provide a drawing, then adjacent to the drawing we provide a bar bending schedule or size of footing columns and so on. So these all things needs to be explained in or uh, drawn in a table. So for that we have a table style. Then point style, multi-line style. Units is one of the important thing. Whenever we draw a drawings, we have to give a direction to the system in which units we are going to draw. Okay, I'll tell you what exactly it is. Then thickness, drawing limits is also one important thing. So whenever we start, I'll start with these two. Whenever we start any, just I'll open this sheet. Once I open, say I have just now I have opened the sheet, I have not given any command or I have not yet started my drawing things. So I'll go to format, I'll go to units, then I'll choose. Here we have a few options, that is architectural, decimal, engineering, fractional, scientific. Since I'm doing an engineering drawing, either I can go for engineering or I can go for decimal. Okay. Most of the architects, they choose for a architectural uh, type of a drawing units. So we go for either decimal or engineering. So I'll go for decimal. Then what precision I want. Say I want to draw 5 meter, 10 centimeter, and 3 mm. If I want exactly 3 mm of dimension, then I'll go for just 0. If I want a very precise 3 mm, like if it is a 3.555, 3.45 mm, like that, I'll go for a precision whichever type I want to adjust it. I'll go for 0.00. Then decimal degree, which type of a degrees you want, whether you want it in a decimal degree, or this is for angle, this is for length. So length I have chosen as a decimal type, and precision I have given 0.00. Then in angle either I can choose if I have a coordinates in degrees, minutes and seconds, I can go for this. If I have converted those into a decimal degree, then I can go for this. Okay, sometimes we use a surveyor's units, sometimes we use a radians. Most of the time it will be either degree, minutes and seconds, or decimal degrees. So I'll keep it as decimal degrees, and precision also I'll keep it as a bit higher. Okay, then insert scale. which type of a scale you want, whether you want in inches, feet, miles, millimeters, centimeters, meters, kilometers. Say if I am drawing a drawing of I am drawing preparing a plan of a um, some urban city area, so then in that case I can go for meters or a kilometers option. But if I'm doing it for say any one particular building or a room, a very smaller dimension type, so I can go for either a feet or inches or centimeters. Okay, now if I want to go for any drawing like a drawing but with a very high precision I want to, so I'll go for uh, millimeters. That is most of the time what we use is in millimeters, because the dimensions of these bars reinforcement, so those all things either we give it in terms of millimeters or in terms of fractions of inches. So I prefer either millimeter or in terms of inches. Okay, so now I have chosen millimeters, then I'll say okay. Then after that I'll go for a format in that you have a drawing limits. So whenever I want to draw, I have this. If this the spreadsheet is actually continuous in both the direction, how whatever dimension you can draw, whatever length you can draw is possible by using this uh, spreadsheet. But if I want to restrict my drawing to some area, okay, I want my drawing to be fit in one particular page. Say a normal A4 page will have a size of 210 by 290 mm. So what we do is we keep some of the limits so that I can create or I can restrict my drawing in some particular area. Say I want to draw something within this rectangle or something. So what we do is I need to give from this area to this left bottom corner to the right bottom corner, whatever dimensions are there I have to specify it, or I have to give those dimensions. So the left bottom area will always be 0 0 0 in the x direction and 0 in the y direction. So I'll just without here it's already showing me the option 0 0, so I'll just say enter. Then it says that specify upper right corner. So upper right corner, it is giving me an option of some previous data which I had given. So if you see, it is 420 by 297. It is something to something similar to two A4 sheets, or you can say um, A, A3 sheet. It is a dimension of an A3 sheet. So either I can keep it this one or I can change it. So most of the time what we do is we give some random higher numbers like 1000, 10,000, 1 lakh, comma 1 lakh in x direction, 1 lakh in y direction, and I say enter. So now my units and my drawing limits are set. Now I can start with my drawing. Before that, I want to choose I want to see that everything is visible in my drawing sheet. So I say refers to zoom. So Z, enter, means I want to zoom in. Then here it gives me some options: all, center, dynamic, extension, previous, scale, window, object, something. So wherever I want to zoom I can zoom it. Since I have not yet started, so I'll say zoom all, means I'll choose an option all. So I'll say A and enter. Okay, now my spreadsheet is set for a drawing. Now I'll go one by one explaining the tools. Okay. The very first, so as I explained in the last class, there are four types of tools which are normally used in a drawing. That is drawing tool, modifying tool, text tools, and some special features. So I'll start with the drawing tools. These are all drawing tools, whatever you're seeing able to see here on the left toolbar. These all are the drawing tools. Okay, now I'll start with a simple, that is a line. If I want to choose a line, either I can click using a cursor or a mouse. I can left click, mouse left button click on the line, and if you see my cursor, it is saying that the plus mark specify first point, or you can see in the command line, that is line is the command which I have chosen, then specify first point. So I need to choose where I want to draw the line. So just move the cursor wherever you want to draw and click on the left button of your mouse. So I'll just click here. So I just specified my first point. Now where I want to draw the line, I mean what distance, I'll just move the cursor. Just I clicked here, so it shows the first point. Now I move the cursor, and uh, below the cursor in a blue royal blue color rectangle, you can see that ortho, some dimension of 68,471 less than 0 degree. So I'll this 330,000, 29,000, what you are seeing here is the dimension. Dimension means distance in millimeters. So what I'll do, I'll enter a distance in terms of millimeters. Say I want to draw a 100 mm long line. So I'll say enter. Okay, then escape. So this is my line. Since I had given a limits of 1 lakh to my spreadsheet, and I said zoom all, so the 100 mm compared to 1 lakh mm is very small. So what I can do, I can keep this uh, cursor here and just scroll down my uh, scroll on your mouse, so I'll be able to see the line. And if you want to check a dimension, go to dimension linear, click on the first point of line, click on the last point of a line, and zoom in. You'll be able to see 100 mm is your line dimension. Okay, 100 is a line dimension. I say escape. I don't want that line dimension to be printed out. So there are two types of a line. One is, I'll show you, the one which is either perfectly horizontal or perfectly vertical, which we call it as orthogonal lines. Orthogonal lines are either perfect horizontal or perfect vertical. Either I can draw in this direction or I can draw in this direction. For choosing perfect horizontal or perfect vertical line, I can go in this below the command line. There are some of the options: snap, grid, ortho, polar, o snap, o track, uh, Dux, Dyn, LWT, model, etc. So here you have an option ortho. You can see the line here. So it means that ortho is on. So if I click on this, it means ortho is off. Now you can see my line can be rotated on any direction, but if I say the ortho is on, then line is only along either horizontal or vertical. So for this I can also use a function key called F8. F8 is used for ortho or polar. Say I'll press F8, then instead of ortho I shifted it to polar. Again I press F8, it shifts to ortho. Okay, so now whenever you draw a line, there are four different methods. One is relative coordinate, absolute coordinator method, relative coordinator method, relative polar method, and direct distance method. So most of the time the first two we won't use it. Means those are quite complicated type. So the second two, that is the relative coordinate method and relative the direct distance method, The one which I just told you is the direct distance method. That is, I'll choose a line, I'll pick up the first point, and I'll enter the distance, that is say 50 mm, and I say enter. So once I give it, my 50 mm line is drawn. Then again line option is again chosen, so I just press escape to remove that line option. So this is how direct distance method is given. Now I'll go for relative polar method. Relative polar method in the sense, I'll choose a line, click on, I'll give some distance, say 50, enter. Now, why the 50 dimension is chosen on the right side? Because I have kept my cursor on the right side. Now, if I keep my cursor on the upper side, it give a dimension 50. It goes to upside 50 and enter. I'll say C. Now, if I want to draw it on the right side, I'll keep my cursor right side and say 10. Okay, enter. Now, if I want again come back, then I'll come back on the, I'll keep my cursor on the down side and say 50 and sorry. Okay, this is how a polar method is. See, the system, what it takes is a Cartesian coordinate method. Cartesian coordinate method in the sense, say this is your plus mark, on the right side it is 0 degree, 90 degree, 180 degree, and 270 degree, 360 or 0 degree again. So this is the first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, and fourth quadrant. If you want to draw anything on the first quadrant, your the dimensions whatever you are giving should be in the positive, uh, both x-axis also positive, y-axis also positive. So dimension what I'm giving here on this coordinate uh, quadrant will be positive. On the left side, x-axis will be negative, whereas y-axis will be positive. So if I want to draw something on the left side, I'll move my cursor to the top and I say negative dimensions, then it goes to the left side. If I move my cursor to the top and say positive dimension, it goes to the right. Similarly, if I from this line, if I move my cursor to the bottom and say positive, then it goes to right, and if I say to negative, then it goes to uh, left. Say for example, I'll show you. I'll choose a line, I'll I'll keep my I'll choose my first point here. Okay, now I'm moving on the top side and I'll give a distance as I'll keep a polar on. Okay, okay. Now whatever the distance I'll give, say for example, I'll give plus 30. Okay, plus 30. 30 is the line of the distance, or the distance of the line, or the length of the line. Okay, I'll say enter. Okay, now you can measure this linear from here to here. Sorry, it's not linear, dimension aligned from here to here. This line length is 30. Now same way, I'll choose a line, I'll pick a point, then I'll say uh, minus 30, enter. Now when I put my cursor here, I was still on the positive side because it was upper side. upper side of my the point or the first point. So when I gave a negative 30, it came to the bottom. It means that from the arc, that is from the first point, it took a 30, distance of a 30 degree in the negative direction, but in the whatever in the cursor direction I had kept, that is I had kept a direction in this way, but since I gave it is negative, so it came to the opposite direction. Okay, now I'll show you how to draw a line with respect to the angles. Okay, say this is a reference point. Now I'll pick a point, then I'll specify a dimension as 50, then I'll say comma. Then once you can see here the first blue circle, what is here, that is, if you are able to see the specify next point, it says where 50 is locked, means length of the line is 50 is fixed. Then the next thing what it's asking will be either in the next where you want to draw the specific point. So I'll give a dimension in terms of 30. So it means that, see, the linear dimension between these 2 points is 30. Vertical dimension is 30, and the inclined dimension, that is dimension, the horizontal dimension, linear. So this dimension was 50, and the length of the line, it is a hypotenuse of 50 and 30. Okay, now if I want to draw a line with respect to some angle, so what I'll do is I'll pick a point, then I'll mention the next specify next point. I'll say angle. I'll say 30. Enter. In what angle I want it in. See, it will show me the angle. Just a minute. Line. You can see the angle is changing. I want to fix it for 30 degree. So I'll go for 30 degree. I'll say 30, comma 30 degree. Enter. Sorry, it's not taking an angle. Okay, so this is how we do polar diagrams. You can draw the lines along with the line dimension as well as along with the angle. Okay, next is a polygon. Say whenever I draw a line, I'll give a 50, enter, then 40, enter, then again 50, enter, then again 10, enter. Okay, something I have drafted. Now if you select it, you can see that this particular drawing has a 4 segments, that is one, sorry, this is the first segment, second segment, third segment, and this is fourth segment. Okay, but if I choose a polyline, polyline is something, if I give same 50, enter, 40, enter, 50, enter, and 10, enter. Same drawing I have drafted. But if I select this one, this is entirely one single line, whereas this is a segment. So polyline is something where you can draw a number of segments, but it will represent it as one single unit. You will have a very vast usage of this line when you go for calculation of area, or some where you want to do the outer drawing and you select it as a one single line and delete it, or you want to find the area of that intruded area. So in that, this polyline is helpful. Then the second one is construction line. Line is something where you just click it, either you get it in horizontal direction, polar direction, or vertical direction. Construction lines are the lines which will give you the alignment, means these lines are like a guiding lines. Say I want to draw a column here. Okay, I'll draw a column here. Okay, now in the same line I want to draw another column. So when I don't have a construction line here, if I don't have a construction line, I won't be getting where to draw this column, whether my column is aligned or not. Suppose since it is only one side on one direction, it is showing that you can draw the column by using this dotted line as a guideline. But if I want to draw a column in this direction also, and I want to draw a column in this direction also, so what we do is we provide a construction line in x direction, then a construction line in y direction, and then I can draw a column anywhere along this line. Correct? Sorry. So multiple times I can draw I mean my alignment will be precise. So for that purpose we use this construction line. These are just like you can say the imaginary lines, not the actual permanent lines. Okay, you can delete it afterwards, no problem, or you can just keep them, no problem. Okay. Okay, next option is arc. Oh, sorry, polygon. Polygon, say before that I'll start with circle. Circle, there are various types of a circle. I mean I can draw a circle by specifying whichever type I want. Circle can be drawn by these three method, that is 3 point, 2 point, TTR method. I'll take a line, I'll draw a 50 dimension line. Okay, now I want to draw a circle. I'll pick a first point, then it asks me whether I want a radius or I want a diameter. I say diameter, enter. Okay, now what is the diameter that I want? I want a diameter of 100. So if I say 100, then it will place here, because this line was of 50. So if I say diameter is 100, then it means that the radius is 50. Okay, now if I want, say I want a circle, I want it here, and I want a radius of 25. Okay, so I'll in command area I'll type R, enter. Sorry, radius, for radius you don't need to press R, you just directly type it as 25, enter. So the radius of the circle is 25. If you want to draw it with respect to diameter, just type D, enter, and then mention the diameter. Now this is the one way of method when I know what is the center point of a circle. If I don't know the center point and I want to draw a circle, say I know the first point of a circle and I know the second point of a circle. It means I want to draw a circle by referring 2 points. Then I'll choose a circle, select the first point, then say 2p, enter, sorry, select circle, then say I want to draw it by 2 point, say 2p, 2p, enter. So what it says is choose the first end point of a circle diameter, means this is my first end point. Then it says choose the second end point of the circle diameter. It means I'll choose, see, you can see when as I go on moving, it also start enlarging. Okay, this is how I draw the third end point of a circle. Now what I'll do, I'll draw a circle by using 3 point, say 50, enter, 50, enter. I'll draw one more, sorry. Okay, now if I know 3 points, 3 points of circle, if I know, then I'll choose a circle, then I say 3p, enter, then I'll say first point of a circle, then second point of a circle, and then third point of a circle. So this is how I choose 3 points of a circle and draw the circle. Okay, this is the next step. I want to draw a circle by, when I know two tangents, TTR method, that is tangent tangent radius method. Okay, choose a circle, I want to draw it by TTR method, tangent tangent radius methods, enter. Now it says that specify an object for a first tangent of a circle. I'll choose this line. Okay, then specify an object for second tangent. I'll choose this line. Then it asks me what is the radius of a circle. I'll say radius is 30. Okay, now a circle is drawn in such a way that this is one tangent, this is another tangent, and this radius of this circle is 30. Okay, if you want to measure linear, see, this radius is 30. Okay, so these are the options for drawing a circle. Next we'll go for an arc. So I'll draw here 50, enter, 50, enter, escape. Okay, I'll show you how to draw an arc. Okay, arc is a segment of a circle that you all know. There are various methods for drawing an arc. Specify the starting point of an arc or a center. So I'll specify starting point. Then I'll specify the end point of an arc. So either I can draw it in this way. So see, I have specified one point here, one point here. Okay, now how much, where I want to draw, whether I want on the upside or whether I want on the downside, that I need to choose it first. Okay, I want it on the upper side. Specify the end point of an arc. I'll click it here. Okay, so this is how an arc, it means this is the first point, this is the last point, and this is the middle point of an arc. I'll show you one more example. I'll select an arc, I'll select this as a first point, this as the middle point, and this as a last point. So this is my arc. Say I want an arc like this. I'll select this as a first point, somewhere here as a second point, and somewhere here this as a last point. So this is an arc. Okay, so this is a one point of drawing an arc. Similarly, I want to draw something like by using a few of the methods. While drawing, I can use for arc drawing also there are certain methods like, just a minute. Option 2 is start, center, and option 1 is directly you just choose a 3 points. Option 2 is start, center, and end. That is how I have shown here. Select arc. This is my start point. Then I'll say C, enter, center point. Then I'll say S. Okay, so this is one arc. Then next is start, center, and angle. Say I'll choose an arc. I'll select this as a start point. I'll select this as a center point, and I'll specify what angle I want. Okay, I'll specify around okay, this will be very small diagram. I'll choose this one. This is my first point, this is my second point, and I'll choose, sorry, arc. This is my first point, this is my center point of an arc, and I'll say I want with an angle of 60 degree, enter. So this is how I got a 60-degree angle. So if you measure dimension, angle, this, so this is a, sorry, 60 degree, you will be able to look it into the other direction. Just a minute, I'll show you. Arc, first point, second point, and how much angle you want. Say I want an angle of 60, enter. Dimension, sorry, line, angular line, line, and this angle is, there is some mistake in this. Okay, this is how we draw an arc. Okay, next is the revision cloud. Revision cloud is something which you randomly draw. See, whenever I draw a diagram, say I have drafted some building, some drawing I have drafted. Something I have drafted, and I want to change this part, this particular. Okay, I'll move it. Okay, now I want to revise this. I don't want to draw it in this way. So what I'll do, I'll take a revision cloud and I'll highlight this as the revision cloud. It means I want to change this point. So this is how we highlight what we want to change it. Then spline is something which is used for a curve direction. Spline, it is a curve type of a drawing. Wherever we draw road maps and all, contour maps, or some of the building elements where we give a very architecturally uh, visually very good curves we want in a building, at that time we use this spline option. Okay. Next is ellipse. Ellipse will have two dimensions, that is two dimension, one in vertical direction and one in horizontal direction. So this is one dimension of an ellipse and this is another dimension of an ellipse. What it takes is, it takes, say it says that specify axis and a point of an ellipse or an arc. So I'll specify the first point, then I'll give a dimension of 100, enter. Okay, so it means that it's taking 100 as a radius, oh sorry, diameter. Then again it asks me what should be the vertical radius. I'll give it as 100. Okay, so the first dimension what I give will be the diameter. See, this will be 50. The first dimension what I had given, the horizontal, it will take a diameter, whereas the vertical it takes the radius. So this is how we draw an ellipse. Next option is hatching. Whenever I draw some building elements, I want to represent what type of material is being used. So what we do is we do a material filling, that is nothing but a hatching. Hatching in the sense it gives you what type, it represents what type of a material is used. Say for example, there are various methods, patterns, clay, brick, crosswork. Some say I'll go for a concrete, ARCONC, concrete. So this is how a concrete is represented. So I have chosen a material, then where I want to add it. So say I'll add a pick point. I'll choose this one. Okay. Then I say enter and scale is 1. I'll go for a preview. See, this is visible. It looks like a concrete. Okay. Since scale is okay, I'll say enter and escape. So this is concrete filling. Now I want to fill something here. So what I'll do, I'll go for a hatch and I don't want concrete. I want some brick I want. Okay. I'll go for a brick. I'll say pick a point. I'll choose this one. Means except this cone, I'm filling this entire thing by brick. If you want to do this one also, choose this one also, then say enter, then preview. Okay, now there is a brick laying here, but the scale is very too smaller one. So I want to change this scale. Instead of 1, I go for say 10, then I go for preview. Now this brick material is visible, so I'll say enter. It means it has been assigned. Now there is one more option where how you want to say how you want to choose how you want to give a hatching. Say I'll choose a same material. Instead of a pick a point, I want to add it to some certain point and some point I don't want. So I'll say select an object. Okay. So if I choose 1, 2, 3, sorry, this is not possible. Wait, I'll draw some part like this, and then some part like this. Okay. Now I'll go for a hatch, then add an object. Now I want hatching only in this portion. I don't want it in this portion. So what I'll do, I'll choose this one, I'll choose this one, I'll choose this one, this one, this one, and this one. And I say enter and go for a preview. If you see here when I choose this point, this line and this line, I didn't specify or till what extent it has to be. So what we can do is, instead of choosing entire line, so if I choose entire line, this portion is also considered in this area. So what we can do is, we can TR I'll erase this, then I'll explode this, or else I'll just erase this part. Okay, now I'll choose the hatching, add a subject. I want it within this, enter and place. So this is how I provide a hatching. Next is a text. Text is something which is just similar. You just draw a window, and once a window is open, you whatever you want, you can type it. You can choose which type of a text you want. I want a Times New Roman. Okay, I'll write Times New Roman. I'll choose it, then I will type whatever I want with the whatever size I want, say 10, enter, and I say okay. So here is something what I have written. Now since I want to change the type, text size, okay, now is it visible? So this is how we write a text. Okay, so these all are about drawing tools. Next, in the next class, we'll look into some of the modifying tools and text and some special tools. Okay, thank you for attending this session. We'll meet in the next class.